USA puts them through. You see the tension in the tunnel, always that special moment before the match. Ian.
Bob, thank you very much indeed. They're going to come out, these players, to a very windy day in Zinsheim, which is about 13 miles from where you are in beautiful Heidelberg. This is going to feel, Julie, like a home game for the United States because the families of so many service personnel are here from the local bases.
We've been running into them all over Heidelberg and Zinsheim at our hotel. Lots of Americans coming to this game, and the U.S. team has been tweeting quite a lot about the importance of playing in front of all this military personnel.
As Bob was telling you, tension in the tunnel is right. One or two silent prayers going on as well. Colombia in their first ever World Cup finals. Lost their first game 1-0 to Sweden. And they are big underdogs, of course, against the world women's superpower that is the United States. Great spirit among those Colombian players.
You can see the U.S. team very focused.
Trying to rouse themselves, the Colombians. They put in a big effort, though, against Sweden. Will there be some tired legs for this game? That's one factor to look for. Just check out the support for the United States here. 2-0 winners against North Korea in their first match. And with high hopes of making another strong showing at the Women's World Cup. Remember, the United States have never finished lower than third place. But they want more than that, these players. We were hearing Pia Sundhage last night telling us how much she was getting the feeling, how much they really want to do this, to win it.
Well, when you look at those players and you think there's only one on that roster who's held a World Cup, and Christy Rampone, the captain, there are many who want it badly.
This is a long hold in the tunnel for the players. It really is. But FIFA protocol has to be obeyed at all times, of course. And now the players are at last on their way. It's a sellout here in Zinsheim, in southwestern Germany, in the beautiful Rhine-Neckar area of Baden-Württemberg. The United States featuring today in a world record 32nd World Cup game. United States can seal their quarter-final place with a win here. Just a reminder of that as we await the two national anthems. The team and those fans looking for something to celebrate on Independence Day weekend. Colombia, who've risen 87 places in 3 years in the world rankings. Their players won't want to go home early, but they have a very, very stiff task on their hands here against the United States. Team news coming up and confirmation of that expected change for the USA. Shannon Box resting her 34-year-old legs to give a chance in midfield to Laurie Lindsay, who makes only her 8th start for her country.
And there it is. You're seeing this is the opportunity, I think, in their 4-4-2 to give Shannon Box a rest. This game suits Laurie Lindsay with the style that Colombia plays.
One for the album, for the Colombian players, who seem to be full of smiles and look relaxed pre-match, don't they?
A lot of dancing and singing going on. We used to always say, do your dancing and singing on the field, not in the tunnel.
Laurie Lindsay there, all smiles, back row, like Lauren Cheney from Indianapolis. Referee incidentally speaks 5 languages, Dagmar Damkova.
It's there, so stay. You stay, you have a ball. Okay. So good luck. Enjoy the game.
Stay the way we are. By the way, that referee was the same referee that handled the Olympic final, which the USA won in extra time against Brazil in 2008 with Carly Lloyd's goal. Lucky omen? We'll see. The Colombians, incidentally, making 4 changes here, including dropping 17-year-old starlet Yoreli Rincon. 2 of this team, Leanne Salazar and the 20-year-old captain Natalia Gaitan, are at American universities.
And they actually dropped both their central midfielders and went with Dominguez and Salazar, but really their strength, I think, is on the outside, and Rodallega and Ospina, 2 very fast winger types. Good on the ball, technical. Look for them to get a lot of the play tonight for Colombia.
There's the substitutes, some of them waiting to get their first involvement, but Alex Morgan will be especially keen because it's her 22nd birthday.
That would be a nice little gift, wouldn't it?
She wants to win first, but she'd love a goal too, of course. But the United States can't get greedy.
You can hear the home crowd, almost home crowd. I don't know if you can have a home crowd in Germany, but they're chanting USA, USA.
I think as near as you can get to a home crowd. Now, will we get a fast start from the United States this time, because they had a slightly iffy first half against North Korea in Dresden before taking command in the second half. I think this time they'll be wanting to go for the jugular from the word go. Leave no doubts about it in a game that, well, everybody expects them to win. And Colombia were rocky early against Sweden. They should have been 3 down in 12 minutes. Lloyd plays that one in, dropping down in the box. And the Colombians smuggling it away. Here's Rodallega. Usme lays it back. They did only lose 2-1 to Brazil in one of their qualifiers. In another game against them, mind you, they were beaten by 5 goals to 0. Brazil are the only South American nation ever to win at the Women's World Cup. Any match, that is.
And giving up set pieces will be something Colombia does not want to do early in this game, just like they gave to the United States. That's a battle they're going to lose. In the air, the U.S. very strong, especially with one of the world's best headers in Abby Wambach.
Who would like to end what for her has been a bit of a goal drought, though she keeps giving interviews saying, I don't care as long as the team keeps winning, which of course is exactly the right thing to say.
It is. It is, but it always helps when you score and you win.
Here Sundhaga, who always keeps an upbeat mood, and her big decision to put in Lauren Cheney paid off handsomely in Dresden, so she has a few points in the bank. Rodallega, the number 9 for Colombia. By the way, a cousin of Hugo Rodallega. Some of you may know the Wigan striker who scored the goal which kept them in the English Premier League this season.
The star. What a great finish that was.
It was worth a few $1 million, that I can tell you. She's part of the family. Wide on the left for Colombia today. Ricardo Rosso, the coach of Colombia, he led the under-20 side who finished 4th at the World Cup last year. As Rodriguez plays it in, that's a very good save by Sepulveda. Julie, your keys for the game.
And you'll see Sepulveda way off her line there, doing well to shut the angle down. And this will be something we watch a little bit today, a lot today, because Sepulveda is known to be pretty aggressive off her line, whether she can time it right and make the right decisions there. But my keys for the United States today, find the flanks, get in behind them, and especially go at them. As we talked about just at the top of the show, Ian, the importance of setting the pace. The U.S. has had a hard time starting games quickly. Here's a great opportunity today.
Played forward by Montoya. Usmi looks to take it up. Here's Castro wearing the white headband in the number 18. Kathleen Castro, only 19 years of age. A lot of these players have graduated from the under-20 squad, which did so well last year that when they got back to Bogota, there was a big street party. But they don't need many excuses, Antar, to have one of those.
It was an impressive showing that they were able to pull off a 4th place finish at the under-20s. And a lot of these players on this team, 9 of them,
Heather O'Reilly for the United States. Abby Wambach nicely laid off. And Lloyd, whose great pass set up the vital first goal the other day. Cheney to Amy Lepelbet. This time there's no excuse of first night nerves for the United States. 1 or 2 anxieties among a couple of the debutants in this competition, I thought, the other day.
Yeah, against North Korea, you saw some of that. But I think that's a good sign for the U.S. right there, and Amy Lepelbet getting forward, because Cheney will often cut inside. And so recreating with that left back and Amy Lepelbet is critical for the U.S. And some keys for Colombia today in particular is keep the game compact. Because if they allow the athleticism of the U.S. in this game to open up, that's a losing battle for them. And the other one is get their outside midfielders involved. Rodallega and Ospina, they're 2 key players, especially without Yoreli Rincon in the middle of the park today for Colombia.
Yeah, that's a big decision they took. There was so much publicity ahead of the tournament about Yoreli Rincon, who'd scored 5 goals, top scorer in the qualifiers. But she had a very ineffective game, in all honesty, against Sweden, and has paid the penalty for that.
Well, and she was one to very Terrell Owen-esque or Ocho Cinco-esque to talk about how she was the next Marta, the best in the world in 2 years' time. So you got to back that up if you're going to talk like that.
Yeah. Did that go out of play? It looked like it. Heather O'Reilly's took Got the position to control that outside the line of the ball, crossed it anyway. O'Reilly, one of those who has scored a World Cup before against North Korea 4 years ago. Carly Lloyd, by the way, is still waiting for her first World Cup goal. She is capable of getting goals from midfield as well. Colombians giving the ball away, and then the United States do exactly the same. Castro picks it up here for the Colombians, who would look for a shock goal to defend. Good harrying by the South Americans there as Lapalvet picks it up again. Lindsay making her World Cup debut, and as we were saying, only her 8th ever start. It's taken her about 6 years to be an overnight sensation. This has gone a long way. One back with a chance here. Denied! And over the bar by Amy Rodriguez with the goal gaping at her.
Good ball across by Heather O'Reilly. You can see Abby Wambach onside. What a great ball. Onside, and just that first touch lets her down a little bit, and then Amy Rodriguez with that bouncing ball. But good save by Sepulveda. She cuts off the angle. She comes out well. There was some talk about what she would bring to this team, Sepulveda, and right now 2 big saves already.
And they've had a few problems with goalkeepers as well, haven't they? Paula Ferraro injured before the tournament. And then one of the other goalkeepers, Yeneth Baron, failing a drugs test and thrown out of the tournament effectively. But that was a good save. She's made a couple already.
And Abby Wambach, the power with which she can hit a ball, it's not surprising that it's hurt her hand there, because she can unleash on a ball.
Well, I just wonder about that thumb, how bad the damage is. Could that have been dislocated even? They're bandaging this up. And Pia Sundhage is saying we've got to take chances like that.
And the Colombia team against Sweden in their first game, Sweden could have been up 3-0 within 12 minutes, and they held on. And Sweden ended up only winning 1-0 against a very feisty Colombian team. So Pia Sundhage doesn't want to see the U.S. in that same situation. Wasted opportunities early come back to bite you.
So how bad is that injury for Sandra Sepulveda? Arias playing it inside. Again, it breaks down, and the United States not able to build it, but again, yet another chance. Laurie Lindsay looking to plough her way through. So important to keep possession. Japan did that so well against Mexico in that big win they had yesterday. Very impressive. Now then, Rodriguez has another chance. 1-on-1, and she's put that wide as well. It's a nightmare start, this, for Amy Rodriguez.
What a great ball in by Laurie Lindsay. They double in midfield, Abby coming back, and she plays her in perfectly paced, where it's just running into your stride, and gotta get that on frame. Just have to get something on that, and especially keep it low. With Sepulveda coming out like that, it's so hard for a keeper to set and get down.
The coach won't be happy. Neither will Amy Rodriguez be too amused, because she could have had a couple of goals already. The good news for the United States, Jules, is they're creating chances with almost every attack.
And that, having the patience to say, all right, you know, it's not going in, let's not get frustrated here. I mean, this is early goings. We're only 9 minutes in here.
Very similar to the start Colombia made against Sweden, as you were saying, when their goal did lead a charmed life. To be fair to them, a couple of very good saves by the goalkeeper as well here.
But the pace of the U.S. front line and their midfield will just be too much for Colombia to handle this game. I think there will be a lot of opportunities had.
Great ball by Lindsay to O'Reilly. There's under a bit of pressure on that left-hand side. Across comes that ball. It's very well held by the goalkeeper, who's not the tallest, under pressure too. Made a very good start.
And that's the first test of her hand after it had been bandaged. So very clean, coming out, holding on to it.
Diane Ospina, quite highly rated in the scouting reports sent to the United States about Colombia. Ospina and Rodallega were marked out as threats down the side. There's no two ways about it. The USA should be ahead here. Cheney. Rodriguez looking to turn the ball round the corner. Here she's got another opportunity. Lindsay on the ball. O'Reilly. And the ball did go out of play for a goal kick.
The space on the flanks, though, is wide open. Heather O'Reilly on the right, Lauren Cheney on the left. Good defending by Rodallega to get back. Push her out there.
Gaitan getting it away. Again, it's given away. O'Reilly! Oh! That is sensational! Tracer bullet from Heather O'Reilly. Pick that one up.
And here it is with just a bad first touch by Colombia. But my goodness, you cannot hit it any sweeter than that. In the upper corner, and you can see she takes a look to where the keeper is. Sepulveda positioning, not even that bad. And look at that one, it just kept taking off. Great goal by Heather O'Reilly and a mistake by Colombia that is punished by the United States.
That is the goal of the tournament, and salute Heather O'Reilly. That's exactly what they did. Well, some glaring misses, but I think all made up for by that goal by O'Reilly, which probably has gone straight to number one in the charts for goal of the tournament.
What a beauty that was. You could see the determination on her face. She was going to lace that one.
It's her 30th international goal, and she scored for the second World Cup running, Heather O'Reilly, from East Brunswick, New Jersey. We can raise a glass or two to her there, I think, watching this. What a goal. Here's O'Reilly again. Of course, she was substituted, wasn't she, in the first game? Lindsay, another intelligent touch. She's made a good start so far. Laurie Lindsay led the assists table for club and country in 2010.
No, and she's very good at possession. She'll hold the ball. This is why this game is perfect for her. Colombia likes to keep it on the ground. When you get into those more physical battles, aerial duels is when you start to lose a Laurie Lindsay.
Rodriguez, only one back to aim at and not found. It was not the best cross. Pederzini was able to get it away for the Colombians, who just cannot hang on to possession. And if they cannot do that, I think they might be in a heap of trouble here. Coach will know it.
They expended so much energy, too, in that first game against Sweden. Losing 1-0 on Tuesday. Can they replicate and bring that same energy back 2 games in a row? And for a country that doesn't have a ton of funding for their women's program, that's where you see the difference.
Yeah, they have no professional league in Colombia. They've done very, very well to qualify. They beat Argentina in a match which clinched it, and of course Argentina, such a big world power in the men's game. So a terrific effort really from the Colombians. But they have their work cut out here. Castro's done well there. Here's Uzme. We've got plenty of goals to her name. 14 in 19 internationals. Might be the danger woman if Colombia can ever build anything further forward. So far they haven't. Rodallega looks to play one offside anyway there. Couldn't go for that ball.
And this is the Heather O'Reilly shot again. Look at the trajectory of that. That's just straight in the top corner. You dream about those goals at a World Cup. And here's the salute to all the military personnel here in Shenzhen. Even Hope Solo partaking, coming all the way up for it.
They'd obviously planned that one in the coffee shop at the hotel, I think. Staying in Heidelberg, which is, as you've been seeing, if you've been following our coverage, gloriously set town. Now then, that's between the defenders. Rampone has a little bit of work to do. Very, very experienced leader, vital presence in the side, even at the age of 36, Christy Rampone.
And there you get a first look at the pace of the Colombian front line, and the U.S. matched up very well against it. There's not many teams that can outrun Christy Rampone. She is one of the fastest in the world, our center back for the United States.
Again, it's a bit of a careless ball, this time from Montaño. Good pressure on the ball from Carly Lloyd, who emerges with it. Only Rodriguez ahead of her, though. Rodriguez has got plenty of pace. It was almost a misunderstanding. Goalkeeper is out here. O'Reilly knows that. Tried the lob. That was good vision from Heather O'Reilly, because the goalkeeper, Sepulveda, was way off her line.
And she's known to be very aggressive off her line. Amy Rodriguez bending her run to stay on side. Sepulveda all the way out. And good recognition by Heather O'Reilly. She takes a peek again. Always worth a chance there.
This is a fast start this time from the United States. They want to leave no room for doubt at all about their place in the last 8. All the pressure was taken off by winning the first game in many ways. However, even if they do win this, they will not automatically win the group, because Sweden also have 6 points. Not that the United States have 6 yet. They've got to win this game first, but should it end that way, of course it will be decided who is top of this group in the final match between the United States and Sweden.
That's why the U.S. will want to put some goals on the board today for goal differential.
Because if you don't win the group, you can run into Brazil in the quarterfinals, which is not a great idea, generally speaking.
I would avoid that if you could.
World Cup action continues from Germany. Wednesday, 2:30 Eastern on ESPN. The USA taking on Sweden in Group C play. Also available online, ESPN3.com. There's Amy Rodriguez, despite the misses, continuing to work hard, run the channels, do a bit for the team. And maybe her time will come in this game yet. Again, a misunderstanding between Pellezzini and the goalkeeper. There's not much talking going on between those defenders and the keeper, it seems. Here's O'Reilly again. She's been scoring some good goals. Remember that one she got in front of her home fans in North Carolina?
Against Japan, yeah. Right. It was a very good one as well.
And getting married this year as well. It's a big year for Heather O'Reilly. Here's Ospina for Castro. That's good covering. Very, very quick. And fit still, isn't she? Rampone. Here's Ali Krieger.
That's really one of the beauties of having Christy Rampone at center back position, is she's going to cover those balls with her pace. Rachel Bueller, not as fast as her, so sometimes gets caught, and there you have Christy Rampone just cleaning it up.
It's almost as if the setbacks this team has suffered on the way to this championship have somehow moulded the squad together. I think it's probably made them realise that nothing's going to come that easy, that they're going to have to work for it and be together as a unit. I mean, hopefully that is happening, or is that too early to say?
No, I think so. They all have talked about how people have their doubts with their hiccups in qualifying last. Losing to England in April, losing to Norway in their closed-door game. They talk about people are doubting us. We know. We don't care. We believe. And ultimately, that's all that matters. If you have a strong enough group that believes, especially when you're down a goal in a quarterfinal or down a goal in a really important match. That's where you're going to see the character of this team.
And that time will come, you suspect, in this tournament where they have to really dig out a result in those knockout stages when it's sudden death. One back. Nicely done. Beautiful ball. O'Reilly. Chance. Difficult angle. Tried the clever chip. Not quite that time.
Probably the wrong decision here. Probably should have just tried to drill it low. But you can see what she's going for. She sees Sepulveda off her line. Or even pulling it back. But Sepulveda, 3 very good saves to keep Colombia in this match.
Could have been more than one, that's for certain. Lauren Cheney to take the corner, the heroine of Dresden the other night. That's a good strike as well. And one back with the header is wide. It just will not happen for her at the moment.
Perfect ball by Lauren Cheney, too. Just driven, coming straight at Abby. She separates from her player, which is what you want. Abby Wambach, and you can see she just can't get it on target. That's 2 good looks Abby's had now, and those start to wear on a finisher of her caliber, especially when you only have one goal in the last 11 games.
Usme from a long way out, but so far no problems whatsoever for Hope Solo, the goalkeeper, who if she gets to 31 minutes will set a personal record. 691 minutes she was on without conceding a goal going into this game for the United States. Another 31 beats the record she set for herself between 2002 and 2006. Castro, a hint of an arm, didn't there? They're more than a hint.
The U.S. is afforded the luxury because they know that Colombia probably lacks the pace to get in behind to set a very high line. And there she caught it right off her shoulder there. A little bit of her arm.
Gaetan into the midfield player Salazar, is at the University of Kansas, by the way. Right back Natalie Arias was at Maryland University in an earlier part of her career. They're just finding this very, very difficult, the Colombians. United States, Cheney. Lloyd, good turn. Lapelbet's little chip forward, trying to find Abby Wambach. I just get the feeling with Abby Wambach, once she gets one, there might be a whole flood of goals for her.
She'll break through. She's not accustomed to this at all either. I mean, she's known to put them in bucketfuls.
Krieger made that right back position her own. Well played by Gaetan. But the USA very, very eager. Krieger's cross-in is not the worst either. Cheney wouldn't quite drop, and Colombia get a free kick anyway for the pushing and shoving.
Heavy coming up hard. Gets her with that elbow in the end, which is what I think the referee saw.
It's your mate, Mia Hamm, the great Mia Hamm, the legendary goal scorer for the United States.
And Christine Lilly right behind her. Right behind Steffi Jones, excuse me, in the red.
And a shot of Theo Zwanziger as well, the president of the German Federation.
Mia's going to join Big Blue post-game.
That's our mobile studio, for those of you who don't know. It's a good name.
I've got more time with Mia and Brandy and the gals than I have in a long time. I'm glad they organized these World Cups for our benefit. Thank you.
And the spirit of that team lives on. Mia Hamm, 158 goals for the United States. Christine Lilly, also here today, I think somewhere, 130. Then Abby Wambach, 118, but stuck on that at the moment. Here she is now. Spina. Pedozine was caught out by the bounce. The only surprise so far is that it's only 1-0.
And you look at 25, 26 minutes in, and this is where the U.S. has to put this game away. You go into halftime, you want at least 2 goals, especially if you're dominating as much as they are. Because if you don't, Colombia gets some life at halftime.
There's this U.S. tactic again of crowding around the goalkeeper in the 6-yard box.
It's very disconcerting for a goalkeeper when you've got that many bodies in front of you.
Delivery has to be right. It is too. Goalkeeper got there. The referee's always going to side with the goalkeeper if there's any jostling in that kind of situation. Krieger's done well. Rodriguez not quite able to control it. Neither was Lindsay there. Again, Colombia surrender possession very, very easily. Rodriguez. Decent effort.
Amy Rodriguez just needs a little window to put one on frame. I like that she's looking that way, but she also on the back side, on the back post, Lauren Cheney asking early for the ball. You can see a lot of Americans wanting it in the box. A good sign.
I think there was a big injection of confidence from the win over North Korea. Everybody feeling more settled. Shots so far, United States 10, Colombia 0. There's one. Oh, you can change that now. That's 10-1. Usme.
I think they heard you, Ian.
They don't want to hear me. They really don't. You have to, of course.
I love your poetry.
I'll give you the $5 later. Here's O'Reilly chasing this one.
Especially love when you practice your German for hours on the bus.
Well, somebody's got to do it. Somebody has to order the food here. Otherwise we'd all starve. There's Rachel Bueller. World Cup debut goal for her the other night. Wambach with her knee to Lindsay with a careful ball in. Again, she really does think about her play. Laurie Lindsay, she's had to really wait a long time to get anything like established. So you're pleased for her to get this chance. Very popular member of the squad as well.
Oh, the team loves her. So great for team chemistry. And it's nice to see that she started so well in this game. You don't see any signs of nerves. I would have been a wreck in my first World Cup match. After having waited and been just at the edge there for so long.
Nothing to worry about so far, although I think probably the coach, being the perfectionist she will be, would like to see a little more ruthlessness in front of goal. No problem for this referee in conversing with any of the teams at the tournament, speaking 5 languages, and actually an English teacher in the Czech Republic. There's O'Reilly again. Great bit of wing play. There's the cross, and again Wambach with the goal gaping. Well, she knows that should have been in.
And this has got to go in for Abby Wambach. What a great ball across. Left wide open again. Colombia twice they failed to pick up Abby Wambach, and it has to go in right there. And she knows it best of all. But those start to wear on you as a forward. Especially, as we said, 1 goal in the last 11 games for Abby. Very unusual.
Could have had a hat-trick already. Still might have. USA are creating so much in this game. And Hope Solo has now broken her own shutout record. She is a spectator. She could have brought a portable TV set in, I think, really, so far. Sat down and watched her favourite film. It's going to get busier, though, as the tournament goes on. There's Usme trying to find Castro, who might get a chance here. Rampone very, very quick. Tremendous work from the skipper there. But Colombia just had a sniff of something, and that's the danger if you keep missing opportunities.
Exactly. That's the danger when you don't put the game away. Confidence starts to build for Colombia, and all they need is one sniff.
One back. Here's Cheney. Nicely done. Blocked on the way through by the tall defender, Pedozine. Feliz Pedozine. Lloyd, knocked on the way through by Liana Salazar. And there's another long ball for Castro, getting in behind. This time she does get the shot away. Well, that wasn't going in, even though...
Castro's presenting some problems, though, for that U.S. back line, because she's got some good speed. All started in the midfield by number 11 for Colombia, Salazar, with that great tackle on Carly Lloyd.
Just a little warning for the US not to get too gung-ho in going for the goals here. There's a couple of opportunities. Castro has scored 3 goals in only 7 caps so far. The Estudiantes player played in the under-20s last year and showing the threat she might be. Cheney. It's played towards Beulah, nearly arrived at Lindsay. Instead it's gone for a US corner.
Amazingly so, Colombia actually debating who's going to get Abby. Abby Wambach for the U.S., their biggest target on set pieces. No one picking her up, and Rodallega at the last minute switching over to her. But the fact that Colombia doesn't have that sussed out is going to be a problem for them.
Cheney, whose deliveries thus far have been very good from corners and free kicks. Another thing the coach likes about the 23-year-old. It's not the worst one either. Wambach was attacking it. Lindsay couldn't get the ball down. But Colombia really are living on their nerve ends defensively.
Lauren Cheney finding Abby Wambach again on that back post, and Abby coming through Sepulveda there to get to that ball.
It's away by Arias. The FIFA Women's World Cup continuing from Germany on Sunday at 7:45 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2, with Australia taking on Equatorial Guinea in Group D. Australia played well despite losing to Brazil. Still would fancy their chances of qualifying for the quarterfinals. Don't forget all the games available too on ESPN3.com. O'Reilly, whose goal has illuminated the occasion so far. Lindsay playing it forward.
Whenever Colombia tries to get some type of rhythm, the U.S. doing a really good job of putting pressure on ball, getting numbers around the ball.
Krieger towards Wambach again. Has certainly made a physical presence felt there. Pedozini did well, kept her eye on that and got the header in. It's going to be a free kick, surely. Foul on Lapalbet.
Actually called it on Colombia there. Ospina.
Rachel Beulah, a.k.a. the Bulldozer, occasionally. Says she doesn't mind that nickname. Lindsay, great ball. Rodriguez. O'Reilly plays it in. Lindsay can't reach it with the header. Here's Amy Lapalbet. marauding forward. Still might be something. Tremendous effort. Cheney's effort was blocked. Brilliant save by the goalkeeper. Now the whistle's gone, and the USA are denied again.
Ball across, bouncing around, and Amy LaPelva does well to even keep this one alive. And what a rocket shot this is by Lauren Cheney. She hits everything on target. Saw her against North Korea doing the same thing, just right at the goalkeeper. Sepulveda, if her finger hurt earlier, it's going to hurt some more now.
She's done terrifically well, really, to keep the United States from clocking up about 6 goals in this first half. Superb that the United States have dominated in the way they have and created all the chances, but the black mark is only taking one of them, and that a long-range, well, howitzer really.
Salazar getting fouled there. But Colombia is just thinking, if we can get in at halftime with this only being 1-0, that would be a feat in itself. And that's something teams ride going into the second half.
This little Uzme, nicely done. Good piece of play. Arias, the right back again. Castro the target, and Beulah and Rampoen have to keep tabs on her.
Difficult for a goalkeeper, too, when Hope Solo hasn't been touching much of the ball, to all of a sudden have to start, as she did earlier on Castro's save, saving things off her line.
Well, this World Cup continues. We haven't seen a goal from Marta yet. We haven't seen a goal from Wambach or Christian.
Or Prince.
Or Prince, of course, who might be losing her place in the German starting lineup. That'll be an interesting story to follow after her rather ill-tempered exit the other day from the match against Nigeria.
That was surprising how ill-tempered it was.
Somari Sawa of Japan, who leads the scorers so far with that hat-trick yesterday, and just behind it, Gaëtan Tine of France.
Nice idea, a little bit straight with that ball by Lauren Cheney, though, and that's what I like about Lauren Cheney on the field. You've seen her now both getting shots on goal, and she can play in a more playmaking role. Sepulveda comes off her line quickly, catches one on the head.
From her own defender.
Exactly.
Looked like a knee, didn't it? Very, very painful, and the Colombian players need the respite as well, because they've just had to repel wave after wave of American attacks, barring just a couple of breaks. Ricardo Rosso, who used to play for the famous Colombian club Millonarios, big motivator of the players.
Pia discussing with her assistant Hegarisa, legendary Norwegian player that I spent years chasing.
World Cup winner herself, wasn't she? For Norway.
She was.
There you go.
That one still hurts. Thanks, Ian. This has been a bit of a theme, though, at this World Cup. The sharpness in front of goal. Sweden had the same problem against Colombia in their first match against them. We've seen it for England. We've seen it for a lot of teams.
Yeah, the finishing's not been good. There have been a lot of really glaring misses.
Still a lot of time for the United States, though.
Lovely ball, that, from Lloyd to Cheney. Perfectly weighted. Rodriguez is in space. Wambach closing in. And again, Sepulveda is there. She's been a hero for Colombia, Sandra Sepulveda.
Cheney just tiptoeing along that in line there, keeps it in. tries to drive one across, and Sepulveda again, she keeps her positioning well because she's protecting that near post. You see keepers so often cheat and give up that near post goal. Good performance by her in the first half. When we had heard things of, shaky, wobbly, doesn't hold the ball well, not seeing any of that from Colombia's keeper today.
Again, what you were talking about, Julie, the Americans' defence playing a pretty high line, that is, defending high up the pitch. That does leave space in behind if there are speed merchants in the opposition, and Castro's quite quick, isn't she? So there is a risk with it. Very, very strong again. Krieger made an excellent start to this 2011 World Cup. Was made to chase it.
There is a risk, and to that high line, as you said, Ian, Norway exploited that in that last closed-door game against the United States before the World Cup, winning 3-1. So they got in behind that high line.
At halftime, our experts will go through this first half, and they'll have a lot to talk about, and highlights from the North Korea-Sweden game played earlier on in this group. The wind has died down now. It's a perfect evening here in southwest Germany. Krieger's ball in. Palbet does well. Krieger again. Wambach tries to head it down this time. Gaetan rather messed up her clearance. Gives the USA another chance. O'Reilly too deep for Abby Wambach. He gets into a tangle over there with Arias.
She thinks it's a foul. I think that's a good no call, actually. Referee gives the throw-in instead to the United States.
Every seat filled here. Now this Rhein-Neckar Stadium, which is the home of the Bundesliga club Hoffenheim, who in the last decade have climbed from the 4th division to halfway up the top division, the Bundesliga in Germany. And Hoffenheim is a little village of 3,300 population near here. It's an amazing story. So they know about underdogs around here, and Colombia are certainly that. The margin is still, incredibly, only one. Rodallega. Krieger again, very, very tenacious. So too was Christy Rampode, who goes over the halfway line, maybe for the first time in the tournament, barring corners. She's out of position now as Uzme has a sniff of an opportunity, but no more.
You don't see that very often where Rampone is making that run forward. She takes off, and huge gap on that back line for the United States. Colombia trying to exploit that.
236 caps and 4 goals supports your argument, Julie. Do you remember any of them?
This is, you know how I am with goals. Don't even ask me.
You don't remember your own ones, let alone Christy Rampo's.
This is where the U.S. at halftime is going to say, all right, let's reassess here. We've had command of this game, but can we get our rhythm back? Because they've seemed to have lost it in this last bit of the first half.
Ospina here breaking. Castro to one side. Uzme to the other. Castro's offside. Right in behind. Does put the ball in the back of the net, but the flag was up. And Castro's still celebrating, and so too are the Colombian bench. The whistle had long gone.
Packed stadium, can't hear the whistle, but most forwards, the first thing they do is look at that sideline referee. Good step by the U.S. back line, 2 yards offside. In particular, Rachel Bueller, who didn't keep tracking with her. Good play by the U.S. But there's the danger you see with only 1 goal.
Yeah.
Right there. So that's something they're going to talk about at halftime, no question. You may even see an Alex Morgan in for Amy Rodriguez in that second half.
Yep, we might see the birthday girl, Alex Morgan. And it's miscontrolled. Amy Rodriguez onto Wambach. It's a corner kick. You're right, though, it underlines the fragility of the 1-goal lead. Always susceptible to the sucker punch. Seen it a million times. It's a tale as old as time in this game.
It's what we love about this sport, which also frustrates the heck out of you if you're on the field.
Cheney's corner goes along with Carly Lloyd, got there. Still not away. Lloyd tries her luck again. Again, it's blocked. And the Colombians survive again. And this is getting a little frustrating, really, for the United States. Krieger, because it's bordering on, well, it's not bordering on, it is wastefulness now, really. And that is half-time. Seemingly 20 missed chances. Amy Rodriguez in particular, Abby Wambach might have had a hat-trick on another day, but a peach of a goal from Heather O'Reilly, giving the United States a 1-goal lead at halftime as we send it back to Bob Lee.
Thank you, Ian and Julie. Back with Tony DeChico and Brandy Chastain. It is a game of give and take and yin and yang. And yes, positive that the U.S. came out with the hammer down, the accelerator down. A lot of chances, but only 1 goal so far.
And it's a great goal. I actually would say it's spectacular. What I love about it is that Heather O'Reilly, as that ball was turned over, she looked up at the goalkeeper, saw she was in a bad position, and she hammered that ball in the back of the net.
It is a great goal. It's an important goal. As we said earlier, Heather O'Reilly's attacking play is important for this team. Not only today, but going forward in the tournament.
Let's put that goal. It came early on in the 12th minute into the ESPN axis. It is a rocket from outside. And take a look and see how it developed and how far exactly it came away.
I like to call this goal a goal by good defending because they put pressure on the defender. She coughs it up. Look at Heather. Great body position, arms out for balance, and she strikes right through the middle, rips it into the upper 90.
Well, it's good defending, but it's also a little bit of a gift by the opposition. But I thought the pressure by the U.S. defensively was very good. They were dominant in that area. Now they got to be a little bit more patient and probing with their offensive play.
All the other facts about the goal, it was Heather O'Reilly's 30th career goal. Who does she tie on the all-time list in 13th place? That would be you, Miss Chastain.
Way to go, Heather.
Company on the all-time roster. Here are the mark plots. A lot of U.S. sentiment on July 4th weekend. Many service people and their families on hand. A quite stirring scene during the national anthem earlier and a 1-0 lead at half.
Engines are tuned. So are Mobil 1 motor oils. Tuned for blistering performance.